All right, today we're going to talk about our symbols and keywords entrance ticket. So the focus for learning for this ticket was I can identify math symbols. Given keywords, I can identify which operation they are associated with. So here we just have the answers of the card sort we did at the beginning of the year that went over key math symbols. Okay, so here we can see we have an add or the plus sign, subtract, multiply, divide. Here, plus or minus, that might be a new one. Absolute value, remember absolute value is the distance from zero, and since it is a distance, it's always positive. Here we have a fraction bar, parentheses, brackets. In this expression, a raised to the x power, x is our exponent. We have our equal sign, which represents is equal to. And then here the equal sign with kind of a slash through it means is not equal to. On the next row, we have our inequality symbols. So we have greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. Then we have our square root, our cube root. Interval notation, this might be new. So x is less than or equal to y, which is less than or equal to z. We will look at that more when we talk about domain and range. 2 little hash marks means inches, and 1 little hash mark means feet. We have function notation, which might be new, and then we have an XY ordered pair. So these were all the important math symbols we went over at the beginning of the year. Then we talked about keywords. So you guys went through a ton of different words and phrases that you might see in word problems. And as a group, you had to decide when you see that word, what operation is it telling you to do? So here, this is kind of like all of the answers to the card sort that we wrote down and put on a reference sheet in our binder. So you should have a page in your binder that looks just like this. Here we had some keywords that meant addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So what you need to do is you need to look back at these keywords and symbols, and you need to look back at the phrases and which operations they mean. And then we're going to go through and you're going to actually answer these questions. Okay, so this video is going to pause every few seconds here and bring you up a new question to answer. So you're going to reference the 2 reference sheets in your binder, which are also included in this video, and they are posted on Google Classroom. So you need to look back at those symbols and keywords, and you're going to do part A. Now you're going to do part B, and now you're going to do part C. All right, we're still on symbols here. So part D, how do I write this in words? Again, we need to look back at our symbols. And then you need to identify the symbol here in part E. And you need to identify the symbol in part F. Question 2 says part A, select all of the following words that represent addition. So remember when you are adding, you are increasing, okay? Your answer is going to be more than what you had. You can also say you're gaining things. So you're going to select here all of the words that mean addition. Part B, the words product, area, factor, triple, they all represent which of these 4 operations. You need to look back at that operations keywords reference sheet that we just went over at the beginning of the video. Again, you should have it in your binder and on Classroom, and see when you're finding the product, what operation is going on. When you're finding the area, what operation is going on. When you're finding factors, what operation is going on. When you're tripling something. And then you're going to answer this question now. You're going to do the same thing here by selecting all of the words that represent division. So I need you to look back at those reference sheets and see which of these words fall underneath the category of division, the operation of division. And then here the words less than, give, spend, younger, those are all taking away, okay? So which operation here, addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division, takes away from what you have?